Hello everyone, I'm happy to be here with you today for another stimulating conversation on prosperity, on growth, on mindset, on development, on health and wealth in Africa. I'm Bamai Namata, and today I'm going to discuss with you an interesting topic that regularly comes to mind for me and makes me wonder, why is this and how can we fix it? Some time ago, I stumbled on an expression, really interesting expression, and that is learned helplessness. It's a situation that I believe is prevalent across Africa, and it manifests itself in subtle ways, in situations where people are taught that they cannot do something for themselves, they cannot do something for their families, they cannot do something for their communities. It's really subtle. But as people, we begin our journeys. We are born with the capacity to take on many problems, to tackle so many challenges that come our way. But along the way, as we grow up and over time, something changes. It doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual. It's unnoticeable. A series of setbacks, a series of failures, a series of disappointments that pile up one on top of the other. Or sometimes it can be an external force. That person is there bashing your self-worth and making you feel less than. And after a while, we stop trying. We stop ourselves from taking on challenges, and this makes our life even more complicated than it should be. You tell yourself, oh, it's safer for me to not try. It's safer for me to not climb because I would fall, because I would fail. And you tell yourself, why reach for something when you fail? I remember the story of a brother from my hometown who had a big dream, a really huge dream, to be able to become a fashion designer in one of the nearby big cities that was around us. He had the skill. He was a great tailor. He knew how to design, how to come up with exciting new looks for clients. But being from where he was, all he had access to were people who told him no. All he had access to were people who told him, you cannot do this. A boy like you from a small town will not survive out there, will not be able to compete amongst the many other people who are trying to do the same thing. And over time, his brother his enthusiasm slowly waned. His desire, you could see it slowly seep out of his eyes. It was a really sad situation. And at the end of the day, he settled for survival. As the years passed, he realized, I can't do this. And having listened to all the many voices that spoke to him about all the negative thoughts, and you can't do it, he started telling himself he couldn't do it. And slowly, time passed him by, and all the designs, the new updated designs, he couldn't do them anymore. He settled for survival. He settled for working on smaller commissions, doing really small things for the people around him in his hometown. And nowadays, you speak to him, all he has are stories of misery and stories of broken dreams. A really, really sad situation. That is learned helplessness. But here is the thing, that is not living, that is existing. Learned helplessness, as they call it. And the biggest obstacle is not out there in the world, it's in here. It's the voice in here that tells you that you're powerless, that nothing that you do matters. It's a powerful hindrance for sure, that holds so many people back, but it's not invincible. It's something that can be beat. It's something that can be beat by taking one step on top of the other, by making small acts of defiance to change the narrative for yourself, to reclaim the belief that you have a say in your destiny, that the efforts you make have and can make a difference. You have to be ready to try again, because giving up is not an option. Because ultimately, this helplessness has been learned, and it can be relearned as well by you. Ask yourself, who taught the first person ever be a medical doctor, and where did that person get their medical knowledge from? Which lawyer taught the first person to ever become a lawyer, and where did they get their legal knowledge from? And which engineer taught the first engineer, and where did they get their engineering knowledge from? You would ask yourself all that. But at the end of the day, these were people who made the conscious decision to take the bull by the horn and to do something for themselves and for their communities. And in the process, they were able to learn as they went along and build something great that started a process of change in their community, of change, of development, of progress. So dear African, you can do the same for yourself. And in doing that, you can build yourself up, you can build your family up, and you can build your community. Hope this has been interesting for you. I'm Bamai Namata. Please subscribe to the channel if you want me to initiate more conversations like this. Keep on learning and see you on the next one.